Hey y'all, welcome back. My name is Katie if you're new to my channel, and this is Louisiana Cooking and Living, and I'm so excited. We are in the middle of doing some Valentine's idea dinners and desserts, and this is one of our favorite, like for a birthday or something special. And if you hear my dog whining, it's because my husband just walked out the door and he's upset and wants to go outside also, so I'm sorry about that. Anyway, this is one of our favorite things. It's a Louisiana favorite. The original recipe, I don't have the original cookbook, came from Ralph and Kaku's, which is a restaurant from here in Louisiana. It has closed down a few years ago. I don't know if there used to be one in New Orleans, here in Baton Rouge area. I've actually been to one in Dallas. I don't even know if that's still there. I don't even know if they're open at all anywhere anymore. Another one in Baton Rouge closed. So we're making barbecue shrimp tonight. Typically we will make it on the grill. We'll put the cast iron skillet on the grill. But there's been a few times I've done it inside, but we're going to do it inside tonight just so that you can see that you don't have to have a grill to make this. I know it's called barbecued shrimp. It's not like a barbecue sauce. They aren't grilled shrimp. It's, I guess, called a New Orleans barbecue sauce. Maybe it's why the name is barbecue shrimp or Louisiana barbecue sauce, but it's not like what you think of a barbecue sauce for brisket or pork or whatever. It's a butter and olive oil based sauce. So we're going to make that tonight, but first thing we're going to do is we're going to get started. We're going to get our potatoes in the oven for making some twice baked potatoes. I just have some pretty large size potatoes here, and because you're only going to eat about half of one. So what I usually do for my numbers of how many potatoes to make for this. So we are having, I'm trying to think how many people are having over for dinner tonight. 6 people for dinner. So you would think you would need 3 halves of potatoes. 6 halves, 3 whole potatoes. But I like to bake 1 extra potato so that you can, so when you cut these in half, you'll kind of have a mounded filling for your potato. So I will make 4 potatoes. I'll bake these in the oven, and then I'm going to bake them and wrap them in foil, wash them off, wrap them in foil. My oven's preheating to 425, and we will bake these until they are soft. So that's our first step in getting our dinner done, because this is going to take the longest. So I'm going to get these in the oven, and then we'll be back when it's time to get the rest of dinner together. All right, with a meal like this, I like to get everything as much as I can prepped ahead of time, because once we start cooking these shrimp, they're not going to take long at all. Anywhere from like 7 to 10 minutes, depending on the size of your shrimp. These are extra large shrimp. I did buy 4 pounds of this. I usually judge about a half a pound per person. That's including with the shells on, because they do come with the shells on. And but I'm doing a little extra tonight because the men may have a little more than a half a pound. I want to make sure I get all mine because this is so yummy. But I just want to show you, in case you aren't familiar with peeling shrimp, I am peeling these ahead of time. Typically we will cook these with the shell on, because it does make the flavor of this better. But I'm taking the shell off so that you can see how to cook it this way, because it's hard to tell if your shrimp are completely cooked if you have the shell on. If you don't cook them properly, it's hard to peel them. If you overcook them, it's hard to peel. If you undercook them, it's hard to peel. So then you don't even know if you've over or undercooked your shrimp. So I'm peeling these to make it easier for you if you're not familiar with how to do that. And then also, this is a messy dish to eat, and because this is for a Valentine's dinner, we're gonna and you'll see once I show you the final product what I mean by messy. So this makes it a little cleaner to eat it if you don't have the peels on. But I'm going to show you how I peel the shrimp, and I am saving these for my shrimp stock. You better believe I'm going to boil this and make me some stock. You can use it for making gumbo or shrimp and corn soup or something like that. So I am saving these shells, and I will be making some stock with this. So here's my shrimp, and I'm going to pop it kind of in half just to kind of break that bend in the shrimp right there. And then if you just kind of give it one little nudge to kind of break the seal, you can pinch the tail and wiggle him out. And then I just kind of peel the legs off and peel the rest of this off. So it comes off in 2 pieces. And I don't re-rinse them. They've already been washed because we typically would eat with the shells on, so I'm not rinsing it after peeling it. So bend it, kind of pop that seal, wiggle it out, kind of pop all of his little swimmers off, and you can peel the rest of the way off. So I'll finish getting these peeled up, and then we will get our asparagus, which is one of our sides we're going to have. Go ahead and get that ready because, like I said, everything's going to go really quick at the end. All right, the next thing we're going to get ready is our asparagus because this can sit. It's not going to hard it to sit while we get everything else going. So we're going to get this ready next. And I think I've made this for you before, but this is one of those vegetables that's just a little bit fancier. You could always do broccoli or a salad. When I told my husband I was going to make a vegetable, which one did he want? He's like, what do we need that for? We're going to be all messy with eating our BBQ shrimp, and who wants to fill up on that? Anyway, but I said we are making this for everybody for a nice, fancy dinner idea. So we're going to show a vegetable, and you're going to eat it because you can eat these with your fingers. All right, so what I usually do is I'll take my asparagus, and when you bend it and where it snaps, that's where you're going to want to go. So I usually do a handful at a time and let them snap in place, and that separates the tender part from the hard woody part. So we'll get these all kind of broken in its natural spot. Actually, I'm going to put the thicker part to the outside of the sheet pan because those will cook quicker than the center. I found these nice tender, thin asparagus. I prefer these to the big fat. It's too many. Big fat ones. See what's going on here. Oh, it's kind of limp. I'm going to make sure we have enough, so I'm going to make quite a bit of these. There are 6 grown adults coming. All right, I'm thinking this is probably enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drizzle them with some olive oil. Next, I'm going to use some freeze-dried garlic powder. This just kind of saves me a step. This tastes like fresh garlic. Garlic powder from the store tastes different than regular fresh garlic. So this tastes like fresh garlic. So I'm going to use this instead of having to clean a bunch of garlic cloves. This kind of just saves me a step. All right, we're going to use some salt and pepper. And I'm going to lightly toss this now. Just make sure all the sides are nicely coated, kind of straighten them back out. Oops, got to run away. After these roast, we will sprinkle on some freshly shaved or grated Parmesan. That's the way we like to have these. All right, we can set these aside and then we will get our garlic bread together. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our garlic bread. So typically you'd want to use like a crusty French bread for this. I didn't make anything today. I just went to the store and bought a loaf of French bread, and we're going to turn it into garlic bread because, like I said earlier, once you see the full dish come together, you'll see why. But with all the sauce, we'll have to dip our bread in that. So what we're going to do is I have my loaf of bread here, and I made some garlic butter. And let me just tell you, so I did use fresh garlic for this, but let me just tell you my little trick I do. And because I said I didn't feel like peeling it for the asparagus, well, I didn't peel it today for this either. Let me show you what I do. I buy this garlic at Costco in bulk. Can you see this? So it's organic, organic garlic cloves. It's gone up to about $10, and it's 3 pounds of peeled garlic. And what I do is, that's what I put in the freeze dryer to make the garlic powder. But then I also will throw it in the food processor, and then I use a cookie scoop and line a baking sheet with some parchment paper, throw the garlic cloves in the food processor till they're ground up really good, and then I'll scoop it and put it on the cookie sheet, put it in the freezer to flash freeze, then put these into a Ziploc bag once they're finished. And then I have what we call garlic pucks. So you have fresh chopped garlic ready to go. So I threw one of these in my bowl, and when I put my butter in the microwave to kind of soften it, it softened this up, ready to go fresh garlic butter. All right, so I'm gonna cut my French bread kind of thin-ish because we want it to get toasty so it absorbs all the yummy liquids, sauce from the shrimp. So I'm gonna slice this up. We'll get it buttered, get it on our sheet pan, and I think the potatoes are close to being ready, so we can move on to the potatoes. Let's see how much more we can fit on our pan. So we're just gonna lightly butter this. My butter is salted. I get that Kerrygold dupe from Costco, so it is salted. If you have unsalted butter, put just a tiny bit of salt in there. All right, we'll get these buttered up, and then we'll move on to the potatoes. So our potatoes are baked. I went on and grated some cheese. I have chopped some chives over here and chopped up some already cooked bacon. I have some salt and pepper and butter. I do not like sour cream. If you've watched me bake anything, I do always add sour cream to things I bake, but just to eat it, I don't really like it. So I don't put sour cream in it. I put sour cream on the table, and people can add sour cream if they like. So of course our potatoes are super hot. They've come out of the oven. And so I like to hold them in a towel so I don't burn myself. And we'll cut them in half. We'll scoop out the insides. And when you scoop, you want to kind of leave a little bit of a border of the potato in there to kind of give it some stability. And so we'll scoop out about that much. Put this over here on our baking sheet. We'll scoop out some more. Now while I'm doing this, I like to layer my ingredients in here so I don't have to stir it as much and cause the starch to come out and kind of make it like a mashed potato. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some butter in here, get that to start melting. And this way also with our salt and pepper, we'll know kind of make sure we have enough for all of our potato. So I'm gonna get all these potatoes scooped out, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. All right, so I have all my potatoes in the bowl. I've been kind of letting the butter melt as I go, adding the salt and pepper. So what I'm going to do is add in my chives. Looks like about enough. I'm going to add in my bacon. I'm going to add in a good amount of cheese. We're going to add some more cheese to the top. We're just going to go ahead and add some in now. And so like I said, you don't want to make this very starchy, so you want to mix it all at one time instead of keep continuing to mix over and over again. All right, I'm gonna get a spoon and we're gonna do a little taste test to make sure we have enough salt and pepper. We'll add just a little bit more of both. Oops. All right, so like I said, we made one extra potato. So we'd have extra filling so we can kind of mound them up a little bit. So I only have 6 shells here, even though we did 4 potatoes. So I'm gonna go ahead and stuff these up. I like to go around and just do a big dollop in each one and then go back and fill in. And I do try to put them next to each other so they kind of hold each other up. I did turn my oven down to 400 because we are going to put these back in the oven. They are twice baked potatoes. And then that will also do the bread and the asparagus at that temperature. Turn this guy around so he doesn't lean so much. All right, perfect, huh? We also do that little trick of making an extra potato when we make deviled eggs. And we'll do an extra egg or two, so there's plenty of filling in each egg. All right, so on the top now, we'll just go back and sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top. And we will save the chives for after it's over, just to kind of garnish with. All right, so these are ready for the oven. Okay, so it's time for the shrimp. This is my big old skillet that I've used before to make biscuits and stuff on. And this is what we're going to use for my shrimp. I'm going to measure, because this is a big skillet. I feel like I pull my tape measure out for you guys all the time. This is a 15-inch skillet, iron skillet. So we've never made this many at one time. If we have, we've just used 2, like probably a 12-inch skillet on the grill. But here we are using the bigger skillet to get them all done once, since we're doing it on the stovetop. So we have a stick and a half of butter in here we're melting. Now this is for 4 pounds of shrimp, and you'll see kind of as this comes together why there's so much butter. We're also going to put olive oil in here. So why there's so much liquid, because you are going to want to dip your bread in here. Something else you can do is you can serve this over mashed potatoes, over grits, over pasta. We usually will drizzle the sauce into our potato. So there's so much you could do with the sauce. And the shrimp will also give off some water content and make this even more. So to our butter, we're going to add about 3/4 of a cup of olive oil. Now, I told y'all the original recipe was from the Ralph and Kaku's restaurant, their cookbook. I have adjusted it. I put probably half the black pepper that they put. So I have made some adjustments to what they said. All right, some olive oil. And let's see. We need 6 tablespoons of black pepper. So 4 tablespoons is 1/4 of a cup. So we need about 1/4 of a cup and then an 1/8 of a cup. Now this is one of those dishes that when it says garlic powder, you're going to really want to use the garlic powder, the store-bought stuff, not fresh garlic. I thought one time, oh, I'm going to make this even better. I'm going to use fresh garlic, and it just doesn't taste the same. But like I said earlier in the video, garlic powder does taste different than fresh garlic. So we need 1/2 cup of garlic powder. Now, of course, I am doubling this recipe because we are doing 4. And I say doubling the recipe, I have written out this recipe in this old cookbook. I don't know what the original is. It's just based off the original. But my recipe in this cookbook is for 2 pounds. So when I say doubling, I'm doubling their recipe, this recipe. We need 2 tablespoons of basil. So it's about 1/8 of a cup. And this is dried basil. It does call for, let's see, let me get my lemon juice out. A couple of teaspoons of lemon juice. Sometimes if I don't have lemon juice, but I have lemon pepper, I will use part of my pepper content, use the lemon pepper. 8 teaspoons of salt. I know that sounds like a lot of salt, but it is a lot of shrimp we're trying to season here. The butter, and we're going to go with like 4 tablespoons of Worcestershire, but I like to go a little bit more than that. So we'll do a heaping 1/4 cup. All right, that is all that goes in here. I'll give this a stir. We want all this to come together before we add our shrimp in. I do have my potatoes, my asparagus, and my bread all in the oven right now. So all this will be ready at the same time. So you can see there's really not a lot more liquid than there is of the seasonings in here. But the shrimp will give off more liquid. And if you had used shrimp with the shells on, you'd have even more liquid. And one of the benefits of leaving the shell on is this seasoned butter mixture gets stuck in between the shell and the shrimp and just makes it even better. All right. We're going to slide our shrimp on in. We're basically going to bring this up to a boil. So I need to turn my burner up actually. You can see they're already starting to turn a little pink, and that's kind of what we're going for. So I'm gonna look at my time right here, and I'm gonna let you know how long I'm gonna take on this. Of course, it all depends on your shrimp, your skillet, your burner, if you're doing it on the grill, but it just kind of give you an idea. My cookbook here says 10 to 15 minutes or until pink. So we'll be back. These shrimp took right at 10 minutes. I have the burner off, but you can see they're kind of still bubbling a little bit. But you can see what I mean about this amazing sauce that you could put over mashed potatoes, over grits, for some shrimp and grits. All right, so here's our asparagus. I have some, I've grated a bunch of Parmesan cheese and put it in this container to just kind of save it. So we'll just sprinkle this on top. So I already have my potato and some bread. I'm gonna get some of my asparagus here. We'll lay this down. And then I have a bowl here, just a ramekin, a large ramekin. I'm gonna put my shrimp in to hold my juice. Juice, that sounds so bad. The yummy sauce. And we'll just scoop up some of these yummy shrimp and make sure we have plenty of sauce to dip our bread in. Drizzle on our potato. All right, we'll just garnish here with a little bit of chives. All right, we'll get a taste test. All right, let's get a taste test. These shrimp are so hot, so I'm gonna get a taste of the potato first. Super steamy. Cheese. That pre-cooked bacon, I mean, I pre-cooked it. It wasn't like I bought pre-cooked bacon. Anyway, it gets crispy in there. It releases a little bit of the bacon grease into the potato. Get my bread. Just dip it in there. Let me get a napkin because I know these shrimp are going to be messy. Get a sip of my sweet tea. All right. Here we go. They're still so hot. They were bubbling when I put them in there. But y'all, they're so good, so flavorful. So much brightness. The black pepper does get a little pepperiness to it. It's not a spiciness like a cayenne pepper. It's so good. And then, of course, we need to give our asparagus a little taste, right? That hint of garlic, the hint of Parmesan cheese. It's so good. Well, I hope you give these recipes a try. I hope you have a great Valentine's Day. Let me know in the comment box if there's something special you'd like to make for your friends and family. And I hope you look forward to the next video with the chocolate dessert we're going to be making for our Valentine's special. And I hope to see you again. Thanks for watching.